I'm going to talk about one of the ways that we break down the overall shopper's journey. That is to understand those key factors that impact the pre-trip for a shopper, as well as during the trip and then post-trip. This gives us a quick barometer of how categories, retailers, departments, brands are doing. For this example, I wanted to break this report down and identify the Kroger shopper within the alcohol department. Typically, we track 6 different categories within alcohol. This is an aggregate of those 6 categories like beer, wine, and spirits. We could start on the top area of the report. One of the ways that we dig into pre-trip around understanding the shopper is to understand their mission. Is this something where it's a large stock-up trip where maybe they're buying things for the week or for a couple of weeks, or is this maybe an emergency item? Maybe somebody is sick at the home. In this report, we identify that key mission within the department at the retailer that stands out. When we started to benchmark and compare the categories and the missions within Kroger, we found that within the alcohol department, it over-indexes for more of a smaller or a top-up trip, a midweek trip where you might just need a few things, not your weekly trip, but smaller missions. The next measure to understand the pre-trip is called planned. You see it says 9th. What that is saying is we actually have 15 different departments within Kroger that we track, everything from baby to paper to pet to meat to produce. When we line up 15 of those departments and we try to understand which departments are the most planned purchase, we found within alcohol, it ranks as the 9th highest planned purchase. It ranks on the bottom half. Because it is less planned, it's over indexes for being unplanned or impulsive. This is something that the mission is smaller and it is more likely to be impulsive than other departments. Another way that we look at that pre-trip understanding is, does it drive foot traffic to the store or traffic to the website? Out of the 15 departments that we track, the department came back as the 5th highest department for driving traffic. That's very positive. It brings people to the retailer. The next section that we look at is during the trip. What are those things while a shopper is shopping, whether it's in-store or online, and getting an understanding of the uniqueness of the category and the retailer. Within this particular box, we are looking at trip. The first measure is spend driver. This tells us how well of a basket builder does the category, how well of a basket builder is the category. This jumps into a lot of other things like, are the shoppers willing to trade up and buy more? Are they impulsive? Certainly, there's a basket building opportunity once the trip begins within alcohol to showcase other segments, brands, categories. Browse or grab and go. This is what we call shopping mode. We ask shoppers, how do you like to shop the category? Do you like to spend extra time, or are you looking to make your decision quickly? Do you want to grab and go and get out? When we look at this particular department, shoppers are willing to take more time. It ranks as the 4th highest department out of 15, so in that top half, where shoppers are willing to take a little bit of time and browse the category. The next measure that we track is what we call our switch walkaway. We find out what you bought in the category and then ask you, what would you have done if that particular product was not available? Would you have switched to something else within the category, or would you have walked away and abandoned your category purchase? This category lands within the middle of the willingness to switch. Categories with a high switch, many times we can rationalize the assortment because people are willing to switch, so there's less of a fear that they'll leave the store. If there's a high walkaway, we need to get assortment and make sure we limit out of stocks. So in this particular category, it lands right in the middle. This last part that we dig into is called post-trip. We're really trying to evaluate how we're doing and other bigger opportunity. The first area is shopper satisfaction. It gives us a good understanding of, will shoppers come back? If they're satisfied, the thought is that we're building long-term loyalty and getting them to come back to our retailer and buy the category. For alcohol within Kroger, it actually has the 4th highest satisfaction of all departments. Overall, very positive. Satisfaction is strong, and that is good to see. The next measure is called expandable consumption. We have a question that gets a good understanding of, the more I buy, the more I consume. There are categories where you can get shoppers to buy more and they'll consume a lot more of it because they have a lot more of the days of supply or inventory at their home. This gets into that consumption pattern, where those opportunities drive consumption and where are those opportunities where we might not have that. The category lands 9th out of 15. So not a category that has quite that expandable consumption. You see this a lot more in, let's say, snacking categories, where people buy chips and pretzels, where if you get them to buy more, they will actually consume a lot more. The last question that we dig into around post-trip, we ask shoppers, what are some of those improvements that you would like to see in the category at your retailer? Within alcohol at Kroger, when we gave shoppers a list of different improvement opportunities outside of price to find out what do you really want to see improved, the shoppers identified innovation as the number one requested improvement opportunity. Overall, when we start looking into the overall department shoppers at Kroger. Overall, their pre-trip, it's a smaller mission. They're a little bit more impulsive than your average category, a little less planned. But the category is a strong traffic driver. It's certainly one that we got to focus pre-trip as well as during the trip to drive that shopper and convert the shopper. During the trip, it's really strong basket building category and department. A lot of this is driven from shoppers willing to browse and explore the category. There's not a huge risk in terms of a switch walkaway. We probably want to drill into the individual alcohol categories to see if hard seltzer has a higher switch and beer has a lower switch. We'd want to drill into those individual categories. In the post-trip, overall, the shopper is very satisfied, not a big expandable consumption opportunity. The biggest opportunity in terms of what shoppers are asking for is around innovation. What does this mean for you when you're sitting in an insights or a category desk? This is one way that we dig into the report, but this is a quick snapshot. Many times we show this to retailers to give them a scorecard of kind of what their category and departments look like. If you're in a category role working in the field, this is a good one-pager that can help your buyer and merchant understand the DNA of the category and what are some things to focus on. That's certainly something that it is simplifying this and making it very easy to understand about that pre-trip, during the trip, and post-trip. It helps merchants understand what levers they can pull. I wanted to invite anybody that wants to learn more to reach out. We can run similar reports on any retailer, any category, any department. This is something that is quick and easy for us to understand because these are measures that we track across all the categories that we survey, which is up to about 119. My email is jason.smith@shopperintelligence.com. You can reach out on LinkedIn or visit our website at www.shopperintelligence.com. Thanks for listening, and hopefully you learned a few things about the alcohol shopper at Kroger.